Hello, so this is Andrew again. So this video is going to be about something that I think is very important for if you are going to be a player in a role-playing game, a tabletop role-playing game. So this is a technique that I've been using in my last two games to very great effect. It is doing a wonderful job so far, and I'm going to tell you a bit about it. And that is player preparation. Yes, player preparation. So this video was actually inspired by another one of David Daniel Ducker's videos. I have no idea why that guy inspires me to do so many videos, but apparently he does. Where he it's a video. Oh goodness, what was the name of it? Of course, I don't have the name ready to go, but it was how much prep he does between sessions. So I was thinking, yeah, okay, GMs, but for me, this is something players can do as well. Yes, players can prepare between sessions. In fact, I think you should. It's a great idea. So what do we got? I have a couple of different things that I personally do between sessions of a campaign to prepare my character to be ready to go for the GM, for the flame tender, whoever it is, to be ready for them for the game. So, after all, actors put in prep work. Why can't role players? You know, on the other hand, some people are saying, well, I don't want to make role-playing a job. But I guarantee you, if you put in preparation beforehand, before a game, as a player, you will have much more fun in a game, and the GM will want you back to their game. And you want to be back to these games. So, starting off, this first one is something that you can do either before you're actually beginning the game, before the campaign has started, before the first session, or this also is something that you probably should be doing between sessions as well. So that is, look over your character sheet, look over your character background, look over your personality of your character, and look up on any other notes that you have about your character. Now, obviously you're going to do a little bit of that. You might cursorily sort of glance at your character sheet. Oh, okay, this is what I got. No, you need to know more than just the rules of the game. You need to know, how is my character going to act? You know, what sort of mannerisms am I going to have for this character? What is he going to sound like? How does he use his skills? Things like that. You know, important things like that. You need to look that over and make sure you know it. You need to know what his background is. If you got a background, even if it's a short one, I wouldn't encourage a short background, but you need to know, some basic things about your character and be ready to go during the game. So, keep that brief. So, look over your character sheet, look over things about your character. And the other thing is, if this is after your first session of the game, you should start thinking about, okay, so now I've had my first session. Are there any changes my character has undergone? Does he have new skills he's learned? Does he have, did anything affect him in the last game? Is he still gonna be nursing that wound? You're gonna need to remember whether your character was hurt, and you're gonna need to act that out. Any new knowledge, anything he now knows that he didn't know before. And also, mood. This is another big one. Mood, just because the last session ended, now you're on a new session. That doesn't mean your character's mood is completely different. your mood transfers over. So for example, in the campaign that I'm in, my character has gone, whew, all of our characters in that group have gone through some real deep shit, some real terrible stuff. My character is not feeling the greatest. He's going to be in a pretty foul mood when he comes around to the next session. So you need to reflect that. Okay, on to another tip. So that was pretty much that one before. That's really the only sort of prep that you can do before the campaign begins. But once you're into the campaign, now you got some other things you should probably be reviewing. So now go over what happened in the last session, either in your mind or look through your physical notes. And if you're not taking notes, why the hell are you not taking notes? I mean, I don't know about you, but I forget stuff really super easily. And I don't want to be sitting there floundering when someone asks, you know, when I need to remember the name of another player character, or I need to remember an NPC or a place. You know, that you should be taking some at least something, unless you are like you just remember everything you see. So look through your notes. Look through. You know, mentally go through what happened in the last session. If you're fortunate like me and you have it recorded, you can play back the game and sort of see what happened. This is important. You know, this is important. It gives you a better idea of, you know, again, you know, what sort of mental state your character is going to be in. You know, the changes that happened in that session, the people they met. Very important to look through, you know, mentally or physically, you know, review what happened last session. All right, next one. And these are in no particular order. The next one is go through in your mind or on paper, go through each of the other characters that are in your group. Whether they're in NPCs or player characters, people, you know, that are in your character's group. Go through them all and consider how do I feel about, you know, this character? What is my character's current feelings about these other characters who are in my group? You know, have I just met them and I know nothing about them and I don't trust them? You know, that's a legitimate, you know, feeling. Do you hate this other person? Is this person the scourge of your life and you wish to be rid of them? You know, consider this, you know, because this is really going to come into play when you're role-playing. Make sure you know this before the session begins. And also consider, you know, has this changed? Has this changed? Has your attitude towards the other characters changed recently for your character? Has it changed at all? Do you think it's going to change from one session to another? A good example, I would say, for my game is, you know, I would say that, you know, my character, he first met these people and, you know, he didn't, you know, he didn't know anything about them, but now that he knows things about them, his attitude is changing towards them. So important to look at, and yeah, and as I said, do so also for reoccurring NPCs. Like for example, I have an NPC in my game who is, wow, he is just, he really intimidated my character last session. And so my character is like, whew, I don't know, he's going to be like either afraid or groveling. You'll just have to see. So, all right, next tip. And this is my last, one of my last ones. Think of some new and interesting things that your character can insert into the plot of the game. You know, I don't know, you know, what sort of game you're going to be in. If you're going to be if you are in a more linear sort of game, or if you're in a more sandbox game. I don't think it matters. it's good to insert some new and interesting ideas, events, plot hooks. Your GM is going to love this. The other characters will love this. It'll make things much more interesting, and it'll take some work off your poor GM who puts in so much work into the game. The least you can do is try to find some interesting things that your character can do, can insert, that can really change the dynamic, change things around a bit. So you can introduce, and another thing too is if you really want your GM to do something with it, make sure that you maybe tell the GM in advance. I know I've done this. My character, I'm just going to say this because I don't want to give anything away for those who are in the game I'm in, who may be watching, but my character is nearing the, he's getting pretty desperate. He's in a pretty desperate situation, and there might be some stuff that might be happening that he might be doing in this upcoming session. So I told the GM in advance about this, and there might be some interesting things that are thrown up there that might change some party dynamic. Great stuff. Great plot hooks. If any sort of plot hooks you can give to the GM, they love that. They eat it up. If you have a GM who doesn't, why are you in that game? Like, seriously, why are you in that game? Like, just get out while you still can. So my last one is look for ways, and this is going to be after you've done all this stuff, start thinking about how can I up my game? How can I be a better player? How can I improve my role playing? This was something I was doing almost immediately after the session ended. I was thinking about, I guess maybe I'm a very dedicated player in this way, but I went back through the video, through the recording of our session, and I thought about through the whole thing, when my turn would come up, I would think, oh, what could I have done to do this a little bit better? Like, I don't really like how I did that there, or how can I be a better actor? How can I, how could I do things better for next time? The important thing here too is, as long as you're really trying to improve, your GM, Flame Tender, Keeper of Arcane Lore, whatever it may be, the person in charge, they're really going to appreciate that effort, and they'll see that. They'll really appreciate that. And a technique you can do too, something that I'm trying to do right now, is I want to seek out feedback from my GM, from my Flame Tender, and ask, what could I have done better next time? What was I not doing maybe so hot? What was I doing that was good? So I can keep that up. And also maybe if you can, ask the other players too. But anyway, those are some very important tips, and I'm surprised that I have not seen this as much as maybe it should be. But I think it would greatly benefit you and your game if you do, as a player, put in some prep work. For God's sakes, put in something, because you're poor. As I said, you're poor. The person who is running the game, the poor person, they put in so much work into it. The least you can do is put in your own sort of prep into it. Make the character the best you can. Be the best player you can be. But anyway, that will be all, and I will talk to you all later.